What's up everybody, this is Ross with Boxing Pill and I have some news about Deontay Wilder and his $100 million DAZN deal. Because, I've seen a lot of videos on the web, saying why refuse, the reason why. I was thinking that I wanted to say something that for me it's very obvious why he refused the $100 million deal, okay? And that's what I'm gonna tell it to you in this video. But first of all, this is Boxing Pill. I'm gonna bring you the best boxing news multiple times per week. So if you like the channel, please be sure to subscribe. And if you like the video, please hit the thumb up. That will mean a lot to me and please help the channel grow. So let's get back into the video. To have a little introduction, there are so many names that, if you Google Deontay Wilder, now there are so many names coming around. Deontay Wilder, Al Haymon, Sherry Finkel, DAZN, Eddie Earl. And a lot of people, they start talking like everybody knows everything. Everybody knows who Al Haymon is, or Sherry Finkel is, or, the connection with DAZN. And now, just let's start with a little bit of background, guys, because I had to research this stuff before coming up with a video. I'm not like, the first news that I read and I do the video. No, I want to do my research and I want to tell you what I really think and what is really going on. Okay, so Sherry Finkel is actually Deontay Wilder advisor, okay, together with Al Haymon. Actually, Deontay Wilder started out in 2008, so now 11 years ago with Sherry Finkel. Then Al Haymon comes in 2011, 2012, I think. So this guy has been almost a decade with both of his advisor, okay? And with the promotion, he is actually with DiBella promotion, okay? So the advisor, guys, it's the rule, advisor, promoter, promoter, advisor. Sometimes there is a blurry line, but take it light, but usually the advisor is somebody who takes care of the career of the fighters. They decide who the fighter has to fight with, should he fight this person, the long-term strategic planning of the fighter fights. The promoter is somebody that actually makes the fight happen, okay? The fighter decide, okay, I want to fight A, and the promoter takes, okay, fight A, where is it going to happen? How many tickets are we going to sell? How about the pay-per-view sale? Am I connected to a network? So this is actually the distinction, more or less. The advisor helps the fighter decide which fights he wants to fight, and the promoter makes the fight happen from ground zero, from the bottom up. And actually Deontay Wilder has been with two advisors for 10 years now, almost. And everybody knows that, actually Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury in December. He knocked down in the 12th round, spectacular knockdown. And actually they got the draw. So they were actually about to go for a rematch, and then Tyson Fury said no, he couldn't do it, because actually he signed a $70 to $80 million with ESPN, and they didn't want him to fight Deontay Wilder next. They wanted to put another fighter and then fight Deontay Wilder in 2 or 3 fights maybe. So actually Tyson Fury withdrew from the rematch, and Deontay Wilder was without an opponent at the beginning. And then actually was the WBC order to fight his mandatory Dominic Breazeale. And that's where actually DAZN stepped in about the unification fight. Because they told him, okay, you can fight Dominic Breazeale, and then after that you're gonna fight Anthony Joshua, you're gonna have a match with Anthony Joshua and a rematch. So this is actually your next 3 fights, and we're gonna give you $100 million for these 3 fights. Everybody was almost in shock, such a huge offer, $100 million. He's going to accept for sure. We're gonna see the unification fight by December. He's gonna fight Dominic Breazeale, he's going to defeat him, then Joshua in December. And he actually kind of surprised everybody when he actually refused the offer that DAZN was doing to him. And that actually came as a surprise, and people just didn't realize why he refused. And after the background, the difference between promoter and advisor, after that this guy has been with the same people for 10 years, then maybe you start to think about something, right? And I want to add one point on top of that. When you think about Anthony Joshua, what do you think about? You never think about Anthony Joshua as a standing alone man. You always think about Anthony Joshua, about Eddie Hearn, you know, the couple. Joshua Hearn, the duo, I mean, they go together, right? Because Eddie Hearn is a person who likes to stay in the spotlight, right? Always. I mean, all of his fight, you see actually the fighter, you know, about when they are about to fight, you know, at the weigh-in, and behind there is Eddie Hearn. Every time there is an interview or whatever, Eddie Hearn takes the chance to speak. Every time. This guy is a guy who likes to stay in the spotlight. And he's actually a guy that, you know, is supposedly a promoter. But I mean, he's more than that, because he decides the fight. He not only doesn't make the fight happen, but he actually decides the fight. He's almost a manager and promoter, okay? And he really wants to take a lot of ground in front of his fighters. And when you think about Tyson Fury, what do you think about now? Frank Warren. Because actually it's thanks to Frank Warren that he signed the ESPN deal, you know, for 5 fights, I think, thanks to Frank Warren. But when we think about Deontay Wilder, lots of people have some trouble associating Deontay Wilder with Sheriff Finkel Haymon. Some people didn't even know that they were actually his advisor, that this guy has been staying with these two people for 10 years. I mean, when you think about Deontay Wilder, you just think about Deontay Wilder. And what it tells me is that these people, they've done a really great job in hiding themselves. Because that's what you want to do. I mean, at the end of the day, you are an advisor. It's about your fighter. It's not about you. You advise your fighter, of course. I mean, they probably, Wilder looks at them as a father figure rather than as an advisor, but there is no reason why an advisor should stay in the spotlight, take every interview, do every possible spot, or just stay in the spotlight as much as Eddie Hearn does. And he was also criticized with that, Eddie Hearn. Everybody says, I mean, it's your fighter's show, it's not your show. And I mean, they make an exceptional job, Sheriff Finkel and Al Haymon, to make Deontay Wilder the man of the show. I mean, they are kind of in the shade, you know, doing their job. That's how it's supposed to be. But the fact that they are in the shade doesn't mean that Deontay Wilder doesn't rely on them. Of course he relies on them a lot. Of course Deontay Wilder is not an alone man, okay? Deontay Wilder is a man of 3, and a man maybe of many more, okay? And he maybe doesn't give them enough credit, okay? Because he believes that if he gives them credit, people are gonna start to devalue him, say it depends on them like Joshua depends on Eddie Hearn, and I don't think that. Okay, so everybody actually was saying that the reason why he refused the $100 million deal was because he was afraid that he gets knocked out. So, and if he gets knocked down, then that's over. Or what if Joshua beats him? You know, what's gonna happen? You know, maybe they cannot make as much money as they could make while he holds the WBC belt. So, you know, the common sense, the common line was Deontay Wilder was a little bit afraid of Joshua. So this decision wasn't made by Deontay Wilder, but was made by Sheriff Finkel to protect Deontay Wilder and, you know, enabling him to hold the WBC belt for as long as possible. But actually, this doesn't really make any sense, guys. It makes 0 sense, because Tyson Fury, you know, is probably also one of the best pounds for pounds boxer on the planet. And, you know, if I were Sheriff Finkel, I would take the same decision not only with Anthony Joshua, but also with Tyson Fury. You know, why make him fight a guy as powerful as Tyson Fury? I mean, I want to protect him, but that's actually not what happened. I mean, they started negotiation, and in 2 or 3 weeks, the first fight was agreed. And I mean, you saw how the fight went. If it wasn't for the knockdown, Tyson Fury would have won, because he dominated 8 or 9 of the 12 rounds. Okay, so very dangerous for Deontay Wilder to go in a match with Tyson Fury. Very dangerous. But I mean, he actually went, so there was no way that this was a reason made to protect Deontay Wilder. But when you think about the DAZN, you also associate Eddie Hearn with the DAZN. For people that don't know, Hearn has probably, I don't want to be wrong, like something $1 billion deal with the DAZN. So Eddie Hearn has a lot of fighters, okay? And actually, the fighters that Eddie Hearn has, their fights are going to be broadcasted by the DAZN on the US and by Sky Sport on the UK. So DAZN relies a lot on Eddie Hearn for his boxing channel, for his boxing streaming service. Like, Eddie Hearn is not the boss of DAZN, but he has a huge power inside DAZN. And I mean, Shelley Fickle and Al Heyman, they really don't like Eddie Hearn. I mean, this man is looked like, it's a showman rather than a promoter. I mean, in every interview, every possible channel, there is Eddie Hearn more than Anthony Joshua probably. They don't like him. I mean, just do the job as a promoter, don't do the job as showman. And actually, don't do the job as showman. If you are Deontay Wilder, you have been with the same person for 10 years. The deal with DAZN, and here is when I'm gonna drop the bomb, guys, was gonna probably cut Deontay Wilder out of his management team. Because think about it, $100 million, it's a lot of money. Of course they're not gonna give them for free, of course they want some condition. For the next 3 fights, had Deontay Wilder accepted the deal, they would have cut them out, his management team. And this is actually not possible out of something for loyalty, for people that have actually stayed with you for 10 years, because for the next 3 fights, these people would have had no role whatsoever, because everything was gonna be decided by DAZN, and by DAZN also mean Eddie Hearn. Okay, also Eddie Hearn was gonna have a huge say about where the fight was gonna be, how many tickets, the profit, and then the judges, guys, who decide the judges? Are they really impartial? Are they really super partes? I don't know that. So actually Deontay Wilder would have been alone dealing with Eddie Hearn, and this is actually something that would have been tough for him. And of course, DAZN would have met the condition that Eddie Hearn was saying, right? So that's gonna be complicated because, okay, money can buy a lot of things, guys, but the loyalty that Deontay Wilder has with his management team, it's unbelievable. There are people that have been with you for 10 years. And another point that I want to make, guys, about money, 100 million, they can look like a lot of money, but take into consideration that Deontay Wilder is in a position where he has all the money in the world. 20, $30 million, of course they make a difference, but what you can do with $100 million that you cannot do with 60 or 70 million? What? Pretty much nothing. For a unification fight, match, a rematch, it's anyhow a lot of money. I'm not an expert on that, but for sure you can earn 25 to 30 million dollars. If you do 2 fights, match or rematch, they make $60 million, plus the 10 to 15 million dollars that he's gonna earn with Brazil. He makes around 75 million, more or less. So it's still a huge lot of money, and that's actually why Deontay Wilder did it. He wanted to stay loyal to his fans, and he wanted to stay loyal to his manager, and Deontay Wilder wanted to keep the power to say, I want to do whatever I want to do, okay? I want to be free to decide. I don't want other people to decide for me, because whenever he deals with Shelley Fickle, he feels actually respected. Guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Please hit the thumbs up if you like it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already done it, and I'll see you in the next video.